Morning everyone, and welcome back to my Bountiful Acre. Today, or this week anyway, some of the jobs I've been doing include mowing the grass, which was fun as usual, but one of the big jobs I need to tackle is pruning this shrubbery, because as you can see it's starting to go already, but it is casting a little bit of shade on where the greenhouse is going. It might even be the 3 conifers and the holly, but they need pruning anyway. I'm going to give them a trim back so they cast as little shade as possible. The girls are here, can't go anywhere without them. Morning Bonnie, how are you today? Yeah, Bella's having a plod around. The things I potted on in the previous week are doing okay. They don't seem to have died or been eaten by anything, so that's a bonus. As you can see, we're making some progress. Doug's getting the holes out. We've shifted the plants and I've ordered the wood. We have got to move all these rotten ones, so that's today's job, I think. It's all been moved down this end now. Sorry about the traffic. I've ordered the wood from the wood merchant, which is coming on Wednesday, and we're going to build an L-shaped bed around the sides of the greenhouse here to house some of that compost. Double height, so it's going to be 16 inches high. As you can see, it's practically turned to powder around here for the old bits. Not sure how we're going to get the bolts out of the bits that aren't rotten. It is completely rotten. I think, that's not going to be taking much to get rid of, is it? So it seems the ones I thought were okay are also rotten. The dirt was right up against the wood, so there's nothing to stop the moisture seeping in, so they are spongy as hell. I was hoping to make them into benches, but hey ho. It's pretty much just pulled itself away from the rusty bolts. Well, Doug's given it a bit of a hoof, but they are completely rusted. They weren't going to come undone, so. As usual, you've got to do another job before you can finish the one you're doing, so we've got to build the raised bed to move the soil into. Doug's very kindly moving the rotten bits of wood down to what is fast becoming a dumping ground behind the big shed. Everything's bigger scale than I anticipated, so I was imagining 2.4 metre beds, but when I measured it out, this is 4.8 by 4.8 down that way. And then we can put that soil from those beds into here. We can put some cardboard on the bottom and get it filled up with that soil, and then top it with some good topsoil and compost mixture. And I'm probably going to grow strawberries or something like that in here. I've just been putting the baby strawberries in pots with their mummies. I haven't disconnected them yet. Some are bigger than others. Some had starting roots on them, but this one refuses to stay in the pot, so I'm going to have to peg that one down. I came over to this pot to look at this ground cover plant, and I've never seen anything like this before. I thought, oh, these are cute little flowers. I don't know if you can see them, if it focuses. They look like little tiny white flowers with a black dot in the middle, but the white bit around it is actually not a white petal. It's actually like a gel capsule. So it's basically making its own little perfect seed germination spot, and it supplies its own water. So I'm just putting them on top of here, and I'm going to have a go growing this because it's a good ground cover. So I'm just taking off some of the strawberry babies and getting them into pots ready for when we do the areas. You can see I've got quite a lot of runners coming off, cutting off the ones that aren't going to amount to much and potting on the ones that will make lovely babies for next year. One of the first things I need to do, to be fair, is take my revenge on bits of this hedge. It hooked me yesterday while I was trying to mow. There's a rose just down here behind the shed that basically grabbed a hold of me and wouldn't let go. Here it is. It's got really, really sharp thorns on it. So I'm going to give this a little bit of prune back. I need to cut back the things that are overhanging anyway, because I can't get the lawnmower right up to the hedge. I need to, cut the bottom back at least, and then potentially try and get the old strimmer out and give that a bit of a going over. I'll just give you a quick look at what's happening in my little border. The leeks I put in do seem to have grown a little bit. The rocket's doing all right. And the lettuce, although it's been munched, has grown, as has the green bean. It's even getting a little flower on it. The other two, three, the one that I thought had been eaten is growing. But whether they'll have time to fruit before the weather turns, I don't know. I don't know if you can see my little patty pan squash underneath there. And there's a little green one growing down in the middle there. Not versions I've had before. I think it's custard white and green disc possibly. They don't look very disc-like at the minute, but hey-ho. They are growing, that's the main thing. We are set today to have quite a hot day. I think they're forecasting 28 degrees. So I thought I'd get out early. It's a bank holiday today actually. Get out early and start before it really hots up. So I'll take you with me, see what we've been up to this week. That's next door's chickens. They do that every time they lay an egg. It's a "aren't you proud of me" moment, I think. Makes me laugh. A little cluck dance. Right, yes, find the secateurs and we will tackle this hedge. The spinach I sowed last week has not germinated. I think this was the one that I struggled with at the beginning of the season in my other garden. I did buy a second packet and I wasn't sure which one was which, so it looks like the spinach Apollo was the one that didn't germinate. Aubergines are looking okay. I think some of them are ready to harvest. Still got millions of tomatoes. Look at them, there's just thousands of them. I was saying about this lemon drop chili that was taking forever to germinate and grow, but she has now got a little chili on, and there's a second plant here also just as weedy, but look at those. I didn't realise they were there. They're not changing colour yet, but they have got lots of little chilies on the top, so that's good. Let's take the bag and collect up the prunings. So as you can see, careful Belle, that's really spiky. It does overhang quite a lot. Although it does have a lovely rose hips on it, I do need to clear it because it's catching on the dogs, it's catching on me. As you can see, I've done a small stretch. I could actually get by now with my lawnmower. I don't want to cut too much off because obviously we've got all these fabulous berries. I did manage to get nettled. I took my revenge on that too. I tend to do a little job until I get bored and then move on to something else and come back to it later. I am now covered in sticky bud, which is currently the bane of my life with two dogs. It's all in the hedge, which is a bit of a pest really. I need to go along and drag it all out and do a bit of strimming, I suppose. But as I say, I'm going to take a pause doing this because it's not the most exciting job in the world, is it? And I think I'll go and tackle that holly bush and then sow a few seeds. And I can take the annoying gloves off for this because although it's a holly, it's not a prickly one. It needs to come down in height, but I am going to prune it back. It might look sad to start with, but they do, in my experience, bush back up again quite quickly. I also want to raise the bottom up to let some more light to the underside. There are some strawberries planted underneath, so I think if I lift the lower boughs as well, that'll let more light in underneath. I'm going to steal a bit of this geranium as well, because it obviously doesn't mind a bit of shade, and it's a good ground cover, so that would be quite good in my woodland area. Well, I've just bent down here to have a look at the lower branches to see which I could take off, and discovered there are actually two trunks. So two hollies. Obviously it's always good to stand back when you're pruning, because you can never tell what damage you're doing to the shape of things. Right, so I'm going to start with this little one here. Not sure what I think about ratchet pruners. They're all right on bigger things, but little things, obviously they make life easier, strength-wise, but sometimes they just take too long. Let's pull you out. See what's happening there. Seems we've got a third holly here as well. It's probably self-seeded. That might come out, but this side of this one is really bare. Right, I've just pruned that one. So let's see what damage that's done to the shape. Well, it's definitely lifted it, hasn't it? I could actually make it into more of a pom-pom shape, maybe. Take the top out rather than taking out the other one entirely, and hopefully the back will fill in over time. I really, really need to get a shredder. If you've had a decent shredder that didn't cost the earth, can you let me know what variety it was? Because we had one years ago and it was dreadful. Any recommendations for good shredder? Let me know. Right, after a quick coffee break, which went on for a bit longer than anticipated, I've left Doug on the patio over there, if you can see him, reacquainting himself with his drone, because I did promise I was going to do an aerial shot of the garden, which will help me in planning, to be fair. So if he remembers how to use it, we'll give that another go. Doug managed to get the drone up, so that's good. And I think I'm going to stop cutting this holly now, because basically I'm in danger of going too far. I don't want to shock it. I still think it needs a little bit more off the top, but I'll stop for now. Give it a little pause, and I can always come back and snip a bit more off. But I don't want to just keep cutting and cutting and cutting in case I kill it. It's better than it was though, eh? Right, looking at these, I would say they're in dire need of some water. Looking very limp, as are the strawberries underneath. And yeah, and then maybe onto this thing. I'm not even sure what it is. Maybe I'll do a little Google search. Yeah, good old Google has failed to tell me what it is. It's got a bit of a waxy leaf. It's come up with everything from plum to clove to photinia. Now, it's come up with photinia on more than one occasion. It's got a lot of crossing branches, which are not the best, and it has been cut hard back before, and obviously it's shooting from the bottom, so this is the new growth. So if you know what it is, let me know. Right, so I think quick drink, because it's getting hot now, and then I might do a little bit of seed sowing for a change of pace. I've done enough destruction for one day. Time to do something constructive and actually sow some new plants, so that'd be good. But first, I do need to get the hose out. I know it's the heat of the day, but this needs soaking, I think. Hello, Bonbon. Bonnie's come to see us. How are we doing? Are we good? Are we good? Where's your sister? Oh, there she is. Hello, Bells. How are we doing? Are we good? Yeah. Come and see us. Yeah, come and say hello. Give these a small drink. I'll water them again later when it's cooled down a bit. But I've got a lovely uchikuri onion squash growing there. There's only one, but you know, got to keep it alive. And this has got a crown prince, so that's doing really well. Cabbage whites there. Haven't got any cabbages on the go because that would be a nuisance, eh? I think that might actually be what's eating my lettuce, would you believe? There we go. Don't miss much, do they? One big bag of rubbish to be shredded in a future date, but this area definitely needs a good soak. I haven't got a sprinkler at the minute either. That's something else I need to get. Yeah, I think I'm just going to stick this on here for this because it's very wilty. I will give her a good drink and come back to her in a minute. Yeah, as you can see, these water butts, because they've got no lids, they get full of mosquitoes, but they're also full of green slime, which is not the healthiest. I love this pot. I really should empty these baby oak trees out of it and repurpose it somewhere. This one's even got blanket weed in it, like you would get in a pond. So I think because it's so hot, I am not going to sow seeds in the greenhouse. I think I might set myself up under the willow tree because it's a lovely shady spot under here. Nothing like sitting under a willow tree in the breeze. The sound is amazing. Let's see what we've got in here, eh? Right, so a lot of these things are not going to be suitable for sowing now, to be fair, but I think I can still do some spring onion. They are till October. This is a packet that needs using up. It's winter lettuce. And we will go with some red and green salad bowl. There's still some in there. Basil is all year round, in fairness, so I could do a little bit of basil. Salad bowl mix, I could do that as well. Cavolo Nero. Sow indoors or under glass January to December. Right, well, I might do that because I can always grow it on in the greenhouse when it comes. It's not too late for pak choi though, perfect time for pak choi. Some dark red pak choi. Oh, there's more on the other side. What have we got here? I really ought to start being more tidy and putting them away. Oh yeah, that's the spicy leaf salad that is already in the garden, but it's getting eaten. So I think I'll sow a little bit more of that, March to August. What I tend to do is go through what I've got, see if they're still in date, and then get the catalogues out and decide what I actually want to grow for next year. But this year, this is all the herbs and vegetables, but I have also got flowers in here. I could sow August, October. So I could do some nigella, that might be nice, eh? Foxgloves, they're the ones I've actually got potted on. These pots are from Container Wise, and I love them because you can get your finger in the bottom to poke out the plants. And they do self-prune the roots, so when they get to the bottom they don't just all grow out the bottom, so you get a nice plug-sized plant. I don't know whether these are the Hugh Richard ones or the Charles Dowding ones, but anyway, Container Wise sell both of them and they are a really good little pot. I thoroughly recommend. Give them a little poke in. Not too hard, but it presses the compost down and gives you the perfect planting hole for whatever it is you're planting. So, let's see, what shall I do first? Swiss chard first. This one is Bright Lights, so everybody knows those by now, but they're good greens to have. They grow for months and months and months on end. I know it says April to July, but they will grow now. They're a very satisfying sized seed, just like beetroot in fact. And these are multicolored, so I'm just going to put 2, because they're clusters, in each hole. I don't need too many. Have I got a ready-made label? Let's see. Oh, chard. There we go. And we'll just sprinkle a little bit extra over the top. I might put some chives in the end. It's a really good place to sit this. I'm going to have to get myself a table. And I'm going to put up my hammock under here, I think, because it's dappled shade. The breeze is lovely. Actually, the breeze is getting up a bit. If I just show you over there, look. The ones in the back are really swaying around. There are storms forecast for the coming week, and I was hoping we might miss them, but maybe not. Onion seeds, chive seeds in this instance, are small and black, so it's really hard to see how many you've put in the soil, but I will try and pinch them so that there's not too many in each one. Surprise, surprise, I haven't got that label. Right, okay, I will make a new one. I have got a lovely little label maker, which I've had one of these for This is the second one, but the previous one lasted me about 20 odd years. So I'm a big fan, because pencil disappears, pen you can't rub off. The labels, I know it's more plastic and everything, but the labels peel off and you can reuse them over and over again, so I'm recycling. I've tried wooden ones, I've tried slate ones, they just don't work as well. There we go. And out the end it comes. I've done them smaller than I used to because it uses less tape. Give them a little misting in. Settle the seeds into the tray. Right, next I'm going to do kale, I think. They're kale seeds. Black Magic this one is, Cavallonero Black Magic. So, oops, that one didn't land in the hole. I'm going to try, if I can, because they're quite small, just to put 2 or 3, and then, oops, they're flicking all over the place. Gently press them down so to make sure they're coming into contact with the soil, and give them a water. I will also stand them in a tray of water to bottom water next time, but I just like to gently hose them in from the top. I find this doesn't dislodge the seeds so much as a watering can or a hose. Right, I think in the next one I'm going to do the 2 different pak choy, some red, some white, because they're really nice in stir fry and they're fairly quick to grow, to be honest. So weirdly, although they taste the same, I always tend to pick the red ones first, as if they taste different. I just like the colour of them, I think. And then we've got some white ones which are used by 2027, so I've got time with these if there's any left. There must have been a newer packet. Put a label in those and give them a water. These little half trays came in a heated propagator, and they do have lids that go on to help germination, so they are really useful. I mean, the heated propagator is probably Willow's whipping me in the face, long since past its best, but the pots are still going strong. The leaves are starting to fall. I'm hoping that's not a sign that autumn's on its way, to be honest. And what I will do with this is gently moisten it. The compost's not dry, but I gently moisten it so the seed sticks to it. I think I'm going to do salad bowl mix, but mainly because I've got a label handy. And this packet feels like it needs using up. Yeah, December 2025. Oh, there's quite a lot of seed left in here, but it's quite windy, so try not to let it all blow away. Oh gosh, there's loads. Whoop. Wind's getting up now. And you can see the seed is quite small. So let's scatter it best we can. Cover them with a bit of soil. It says to 1/2 inch, so I can give it a fair amount. Right, salad bowl mix that is, and I will cover it with the plastic lids which are in the greenhouse. That should come up really quickly. The ones I did in the garden actually came up in 3 days. I think we might go to a flower this time, because we've done a few veggies and things. I'm going to do this Nigella, Miss Jekyll Alba. It's very pretty, isn't it? And you get lots of lovely seed pods, so I'm going to give that a go. I've obviously done them in the past. I don't know whether I actually ended up with any plants. I can't remember potting them on. Maybe they didn't germinate. But anyway, let's see. The seeds are like onion seeds, funnily enough. Sprinkle them. It's hard to see where they've gone. For the herbs, I'm going to put some coriander. This seed is well out of date, so I'm going to oversow this. And if it doesn't germinate, it doesn't germinate. I've moistened the compost in advance. And in the other, I'm going to put some basil. This is Aroma 2. This again has teeny tiny seeds. Basil on the left. And I need to label it before I move, because I will get them mixed up. And these will go in the greenhouse for now. These are the lids that I was talking about, which go on top of these pots, but it's a little bit hot at the minute. So I'll cover them up tonight when it cools down a little bit. But right, going to clean myself up and have a drink now. Next week we're going to be tackling that border around the back of the greenhouse, building a new raised bed to house some of the compost so that we can start clearing ready for the greenhouse. I hope you've enjoyed this week's video. If you have, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. It's much appreciated. We'll see you next week.